What's up, everybody? My name is Rob G, and I'm here to officially accept the Show 'em You Can Cook challenge. So, you probably saw in the title, what I'm going to cook today for you is some pan-seared salmon. We're going to put it in a cream sauce, and then that's going to be accompanied by some cilantro shrimp and rice. So, yeah. So I'm here in Atlanta on business at my spot here. And I went to the store and I was doing some grocery shopping and been hearing about the challenge. So I said, heck, why not? Challenge accepted, right? So I'm no professional cook at all, but I feel like I can throw down a little bit. So you guys can tell me what you think, and then we'll go from there. But before you start hating, do the challenge. Do the challenge. So what I'm gonna do is pour me a little glass of wine, fill it up. I've already had a little half of one, so now we're about to get started. All right, so let me show you the first thing that we're gonna do. Let me turn my camera, maybe so you guys can see a little bit here. Let me get you right, get you right, get you right. But anyway, so what's going on is I've been rendering down some mushrooms because I have mushrooms and I want to get my mushrooms. Let me see if I can turn this so you guys can see me a little bit. Right? There we go. And then I'm going to do it like that. I want to give the mushrooms a head start, right? So really all I did was I took these mushrooms. These are baby bellas right here. And one thing I noticed when you cook, you don't want to take these and rinse them, put them under water because they're real porous. They're real porous. So what I do is I get a damp paper towel, just kind of wipe them off, right? And then I cut the end of it off, like the tip, right? And then I'm just chopping it kind of thick, right? Kind of thick. And I threw it in there. So that's kind of what I did with the mushrooms, right? And they've been kind of rendering down because I like to give them a head start. So I like my mushrooms sauteed. So I wanted to get them rendered down. And that's what's going on right there. These will be okay. We'll put these in there too. So next thing that I want to do is get this onion going. I like to do when I'm cooking anything, especially in the skillet and you want to saute it and render it and all that good stuff. I like to make the most pungent vegetable. I want to give that the head start, right? So I want to kind of cook it out. So all I'm going to do here, I'm taking the skin off of an onion. I'm only going to use I don't know, maybe half of this, the whole thing. I'm going to use half probably, I guess. We'll see. Oh, you know what else I got to do? I got to get my rice started because I want to have this whole meal done in 30, 40 minutes, right? This kind of goes fast, I think, because we're talking about salmon. Salmon is not like a real long cooking kind of protein. So let me get that started real quick. So anyway, I'm gonna still need an onion. I told you I had a half a glass of wine, so I'm trying to catch up myself mustard. All right. So I'm gonna take, well, we're only gonna use 1/2 anyway. But so that's how I cut up my onions, right? And then I'm gonna come here and just make some. And what I'm doing is I'm about to get my rice going. So I need some onions in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put maybe about like that, right? And I'm gonna use one of these things. This tool right here is a lifesaver when you're cooking. So you don't have to use your hands. You can just take it all in one little swoop like that. Drop it down in there. Now, so I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna get some butter right here, right? Get some butter, and I'm gonna get this going. Maybe put I don't know, a couple tablespoons maybe. We'll do that. That's good. right? I mean, yeah, I actually use a lot of plant-based butter, but I didn't have that when I went to the store here in Atlanta. So we using, the real thing. And hey, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Moderation, moderation. I don't think this is like a real gonna put you in the hospital kind of dish, but you gotta be cautious of the butter and all that stuff that you use. All right, I'm gonna bring this to a sizzle and get this kind of sauteed up real fast. The onions, get them a head start. I'm not gonna use, I have some fresh garlic. And why not? That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? This is a whole real cooking show, at least in my mind. Get a couple of glasses of wine, the next thing you know, you're like Emeril Lagasse. But that's the fun of cooking. How I learned about cooking, I was the baby, and my mom had me in the kitchen if I wasn't on her hip. And I just kind of learned and by watching, right? And then also, I was a student athlete. So here I am as an athlete playing varsity basketball as a young kid, and I'm coming home. Practice is over at like 8 o'clock. You don't get home till like 8:30. So it was leftovers, or it was just learning how to cook, and that's kind of what I did. And then that fast forwarded into college, and I just really enjoy cooking. So that's how that came about, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna do some garlic real fast, and I'm gonna chop up some garlic, get that little root part off, dice up some garlic, kind of thick, nothing crazy. Dice it up, and then we'll take that, we'll throw it in there too. We're getting our rice started because I want all this to come due at the end. So here's the level up game. I bought this today. This is my first time using it. This is not just chicken broth, it's spicy chicken broth. So we're gonna try it out, right? I'm gonna take 4 cups, but I'm not gonna use all the chicken broth in this because I'm gonna use some of it in our other dish. So I'll probably use, let's say 2, I'm gonna save a cup. Let's save a cup. Yeah, that's cool. 4 cups, right? All right. So we got 4 cups, which tells you that it's going to be 2 cups of rice that goes in there. And yeah, I'm kind of cheating. Could I get some saffron, and could I get some turmeric, and could I do all that and create yellow rice and then add some cilantro and lime? Yeah, I could, but I want to try this because I like Zatarain. And I looked at the ingredients. Now, you got to be careful about a lot of these box stuff, anything, because of the sodium. You don't want to use, all your sodium intake. But I think we're going to be okay. So I'm monitoring it. And I'll show you something else that I do when it comes to monitoring my sodium. So we're going to pour all this in there, right? And then I'm going to bring this to a boil. Give that a nice little stir. I was going to, normally, like I would like doctor this up. I would add garlic powder, other stuff. But I'm just going to let this rock just the way it is, because we're going to add some stuff to this anyway. So there we go. I'm going to add the shrimp to that right before it's done cooking. So that's kind of where we're getting that whole shrimp and rice combo. So I got that going. Now Let's clean up my cutting board. That's the other thing. I always want like a clean workstation. I think that's key when you're cooking. You clean as you go, and then you're good. You're good to go, right? So I need some onion and my pepper, and so I'm gonna chop all this stuff up real quick. So I'm just curious to know what people like to cook. I like to cook everything. I'm really like fond of the grill. I'm gonna get a green egg, right? And so we'll put these onions in there, right? Onions go in. I'm gonna cut this red pepper. I don't think I'm gonna use the whole thing, but I am gonna cut it into strips because I just like the color and I like the taste of red pepper. It's a little sweeter than the green. Those go in. Then I'm gonna add some spinach, but I'm not gonna add it right now. Now this has already come to a boil. We're gonna crank that down to a simmer. We're gonna get that going. That's gonna take about 30 minutes. So we'll let that rock out, do its thing. I'm gonna add some more butter to this dish. I'm keeping track. I try to keep track of like how much butter, how much fat, and how much salt. And then I just go hard in the paint with the spices, right? So it's one thing to make something hot. It's another thing to make something flavorful. So I just try to, find that happy medium. And that's how I get down. So I'm giving these onions a head start, right? And then I put the peppers, and now we're gonna crank this up a little bit more. And now I'm gonna add some spinach. And so here's what I do. Another pro tip with all my vegetables, like these green onions, how you let them last longer is when you go to the grocery store and you get your vegetables, bring them home, clean them. Clean all your vegetables off right when you get them home, not when you use them. So you clean them and you put them back. Like these cherry tomatoes, I bought them and then I cleaned them and put them in the spinner and cleaned them and everything and put them back in here. Same with my spinach. I clean that because I don't trust, even if it says wash, don't trust it. Don't trust it, right? So that's how it's gonna look. I want to wilt this just a little bit more. All right. I might even add some more spinach, actually. Let me see. I'm going to add some more spinach just because, you think you have a whole bunch of spinach. And when you put it in, by the time it wilts down, you don't have much. And this is one of the ways I get my veggies in, right? So that part. Anyway. So now what I'm going to do is, while that's wilting, I'm going to get this better than bouillon. Now we're going to season it a little bit. So I have some better than bouillon. This goes a long way, a lot of sodium. So be careful with that. But I'm going to put a little bit up in there, get that going. We're going to start layering our flavors. So this was the trick that I said about my salt intake. What you can do is you just pour your salt in here, right? Much as you think you're going to need. And if you want to be real specific, just put the amount of your sodium intake, like for those people who are on those diets, and you're good to go. So you can't use more than what you have, right? So I'm going to a little salt in here, get that salted, some pepper. And like I said, with the pepper, any of the spices and stuff like that, I don't really mind. I'm throwing some Italian seasoning. That's basically it's like some mirepoix. It's like celery, carrots, and onions. And it has some basil, it has some rosemary, some thyme, a little bit of sage. So it's cool. Then I'm going to come with a little bit of garlic powder. And yeah, I'm going to put some fresh garlic in there, but I'm going to go ahead and do that too. And we got to have a little bit of onion powder. We put onion powder and garlic powder, at least I do, on everything. I could put it on some pancakes, I guess. I don't know. And then my favorite, one of my favorites is a little crushed red pepper. Not a lot. We're not trying to kill it because we also have jalapeno. So we're going to just put a little bit, seed and all, maybe like three slivers. Throw that in there. Okay. Give it some, let you know it was here. All right. What's next? Give this a toss and turn. All right. Yeah. Now I sauteed all that down. See how that looks? Looks awesome, doesn't it? Smells good. Smell-o-vision. If you had it, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now we're just going to take our cream, heavy whipping cream, and we're going to load that bad boy up with it like that. I'm putting the whole thing in there. All of it. Because I don't want it to be too creamy, I'm going to cut it with a little bit of this chicken stock. Okay. There's the magic, right? Okay. So we're going to let this marry, get happy. When it starts heating up, we're going to add some cheese to it. And that's going to be our cream sauce, right? Forgot to add my garlic, but it's never too late for garlic. Never too late, never too late, right? All right, add some garlic. So cut this up. And I don't want to dice it too much, but you don't want big chunks of garlic when you're eating your food. You don't want that either. So just a nice happy medium. Okay, throw that in there. So the other thing I'm gonna add in here, which I forgot to add, and I was debating, do I even want to put these in here? But I'm gonna put it in here for some color, and but I should have sauteed them, but it's cool. It's gonna taste the same. It's gonna taste good, and it has time to cook too, right? So, plus I'm the only one eating it, so it's whatever I like. It's really whatever I like. So this is coming to a boil. Now we come in with the Parmesan, and we just start putting that in, stirring it in. And remember, Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt to it as well. So, just that sodium intake, you just got to always be careful. That's all. So, this is nice and cheesy, right? We'll let it go with that. Okay. We haven't even gotten to the good part. Slow down. Slow down. So what I'm going to do, I think this time, is I'm going to do the salmon in a different pan. And then we'll do some presto change up stuff to it. I got some salmon. I have some Argentine shrimp, right? That I've already, it says peeled and deveined, but I go behind it, and I suggest you do too, and with a knife, and I devein it because it's got that mud line on the top, but it's also got one on the bottom underneath. So I just go through, check every single one of these, and then I seasoned it lightly, and it's just been kind of marinating. So that's what I have, and we're gonna cook that, and we'll also have our salmon. So let me show you the salmon. So here we got our salmon, and I got 2 pieces of salmon that I'm gonna do tonight, even though it's meat eating. Don't judge me. And so we have one we're gonna do with the skin on, and the other I'm gonna show you how I take the skin off. Okay, so we'll take the skin off of this one, and I'll show you how that happens. It's not hard. It's not hard. You know, once you know how to do something, it's not hard. So all you do is you come under here and you cut, right, the skin, get a start going, and then you take your hand, right, and you hold it. You can get a fork or whatever too, and then you just cut, slide right along the bottom. But you got to keep your hand on that skin so that it, and you just keep it close to the cutting board until it's done. And then look at that, perfectly skinned salmon. Now I'm gonna fry this because some people like the skin on. So we're gonna do one with the skin on and one with the skin off. Okay, and that's how that's gonna look, right? And what I'm doing is I'm gonna get this skillet here. I get this going. Get this to like 8. We get this going to an 8. What we want is to get our pan real hot, not scorching like we do on blackened. We're not like blackening something. My spot in Oakland, the stove there, I have a gas, so I can use cast iron and I can use other things. I like cooking with that. These take those specialty pots, but you know the trade-off is we're talking about it. So anyway, so what's next? We got our rice. We can cut our rice down. We're gonna check it real quick. Right. All right. So there you go. I put that like I'm gonna put that on the simmer. Right. So the rice is pretty much done, almost. You got this going to a hot, medium, high. And I'm gonna turn it down to a 7. So what I want to do is get one layer, a good layer. Right. We want a good layer. Now I'm using avocado oil because avocado oil has a high smoke point, right? Which is good. That's what we want. We don't want to burn the oil. And then at the last minute, right before I throw this down, I'm going to go ahead and add our butter, right? So we're going to do some butter and olive oil. I promise you, that's all the butter that I think I'm going to use. I mean, I probably use like a half a stick with everything. Okay, so now this one, the skin side down, we're gonna put it down away from you. This one, we're gonna do the presentation side, and we're gonna put it in like that. And we're gonna let this just rock out for a quick hot minute, right? Might have been a little hot, We're gonna make it work. I wanna crisp up the skin, but I don't wanna cook this thing all the way through. Not at all. So let me find the right spatula real quick to get this out of here. We'll just use this one, and we'll use the knife. So want to check it, and it's going to tell you when it's ready to release, right? Okay, there we go. Awesome. Flip that bad boy over. Same with this guy. Flip it over, and I'm going to give it maybe 10 more seconds, right? And then I'm pulling it. That's it. It's still raw. in the middle. It's still raw in the middle. Okay, so we're good. Now that the smoke is good, we're gonna take our salmon, put it off to the side. Then we gotta work on our shrimp. We're gonna start with some olive first, not olive oil, but some avocado oil. We don't need as much for the shrimp. We got our oil, we got our butter, and we're gonna turn this up to like a 5. All right. We'll be easy on the induction. Check on our sauce here. That's going good. It's cream. So you don't keep stirring it. And I caught it just in time. Oh, look at that. That's what happened last time. It'll stop. Look, y'all, when you have the overhead, use it. Use it. I'm sauteing our shrimp real fast. This sound that you hear lets you know that you're doing some real cooking. It also lets you know that you're doing some real wine tasting. I may have to disarm the keep going. This thing over here. Act like you didn't know sometimes this stuff happens. Anyway, sorry for the technical delay. We're back to cooking, okay? Let's get it. So what we got going is just a recap and a catch up. We have our cream sauce that almost burnt, but it didn't because we caught it in time. We have our rice and we have our shrimp. Now what I'm gonna do is pour this shrimp, some of it in here. The rest is 3/4 done. Putting with our rice, and then I'm putting the all that juice. I'm putting it into our cream sauce. Right? We're gonna fluff our rice up, and we're going to fold our shrimp into our rice. Can you see that? You see it? Now our shrimp is not done, but neither is our rice. We'll put a lid on it and let that thing finish cooking. Lid. Want to get some lemon, and you keep the seeds. So now we got our lemon, and then we give it a final stir, and we got to taste it. Got to taste it. Let me see what we're working with. This is fire. Yeah, we're on to something. All right. You can see. You see it, right? But we're not done. I'm going to take the skin side up, nestle it in there, and then the skinless, nestle it in just like that. Okay. All right. Check it out. Got my plate. Got my half a lemon. Got my rice. Take the rice, mash it into that measuring cup. Mash that in, mash it in. Press it in there, press it in there. And then do the 1, 2, 3 presto change-o flip to one side, and it comes out like that. Okay? Then I'm gonna take a couple of these shrimp, right? Grab a couple of these shrimp, throw them on the top. Get another one. Throw it on the top. And we'll throw it on the top like that. All right. You come in here and you get your piece of salmon, right? Like that. Like that. And then hit it like that, right? We're gonna come and grab, hopefully not be messy with it. And we're going to come and do it just like this, right? Doesn't that look nice? And one more scoop of that cream sauce. And let it just kind of do its thing. But here's what it looks like, right? What do you think? Come in here and just kind of grab a piece of that salmon. Oh man, it's perfectly done on the inside. And let me try it. Show me you can cook challenge. I think I knocked that one out the park, baby. So anyway, this was fun. Thank you so much for spending the evening with me, watching me cook. I had a lot of fun, and I'm about to throw down, y'all. We should all come together and start doing some challenges and cooking and really learning the game. But anyway, thanks a lot.